Hey everybody, this is going to be a disassembly teardown video for an Octatrack Mk2. I'm making this because I couldn't find any online and I've got to open this one up, so I thought it might be helpful to some people. The reason I'm opening this one up is this one I got at a discounted price because one of the inputs is not working, and the seller said that it was because of some shipping mishandling. Specifically, it's this input B that doesn't work. My best hope is that it is a loose jack, and that I could maybe fix it by, maybe there are some lifted pads or the jack isn't, has become loose somehow. So hoping that it's very simple, but we'll see once we get in there. What you'll need is these screws are like little hex things. I have this little tool that I just had in my little toolkit that's just a little hex tool. So you can just boop, unscrew it, and that's what's up. Alright, so I've got all the screws out. Once you've got all the screws out, it's pretty straightforward. You will lift from the front. There are some ribbon cables in the back that will need to become unplugged. So don't just lift the whole thing off. You'll want to be very careful about it, and you will see this is what the inside is going to look like. Probably don't want to lift much higher than this because you can see this left ribbon cable is already somewhat taut, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect those two cables so I can take off this control board up here. Alright, and I'm going to have to pull the board to be able to look at this jack here, because what I'm looking for is underneath the board. It's looking like these are Torx screws, but the same tool actually is going to be usable. I just tried it and it is usable for those screws as well. Alright, this is a view of the internal main board. I've taken out all the screws. There are screws on top of the compact flash card reader, and I just kept those with the bracket. Keep your screws in a safe place. I've separated my silver from the external blacks. Probably not necessary, but might as well. There's this jumper, which who knows what it goes to. There's a beautiful brain, and this battery in here is a CR2450. So in case anyone ever needs to replace that, that's what that is. There's screws there, 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 those two. Two right there, one right there, and one right there. And those two as well, if I didn't say that. But we can't take this out yet because there are little lugs around the 1/4 inch outputs. The winning strategy here seems to be to grab these firmly on opposing sides and just give it one little twist until it's loose, and then you can just unscrew it with your fingers. You don't want to, I think they're made of plastic, so you don't want to go too crazy on them. Alright, once those are all off, this board should be good to go for removal. You'll want to pull it towards you, because there are these jacks. You can kind of push at the edge here to kind of push it through, push the power through, and then you have a loose board. Still be very careful with it because the compact flash little ejector button is pretty long, so there's going to be a little bit of finagling. Alright, I've reflowed all of the contacts in the troublesome jack assembly. All that remains is to reverse all of the steps to reassemble. Alright, I skipped through all of the other steps because they're the same, but here it is and it's back together. Alright, and it seems like this actually solved the issue. So right now I've got something in input A. We're going to change it over to input A. This is like the sound from my synthesizer that's going on. And we're going to take it out. Looks like there is some kind of issue with the LED for B, but when I turn it on to B, there's no sound when there's nothing in, so that's good. And we're going to plug it in. There it is. That beautiful sound. I'm so happy there's this beautiful sound. And we can turn down the volume. So I guess it worked. There's still something amiss because that LED is a little bit funky. Put it into C, D, it'll work. But yeah, you know, it seems to be working. So that's good.